Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Hey, welcome in. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the book Why We Get Sick, what's really happening with us, and why 93% of us are suffering from metabolic disorders today. And I'm going to talk about a natural solution that works. And we're going to talk about a few comments that have been made and just dispel some myths and instill some truths and hopefully help you get some answers into your own health. So let's start with the problem. A recent study, a 2022 study, said that 93.5% of us are suffering with a metabolic disorder. That means that we're having an insulin resistance problem. That means that our body is not dealing with glucose well. That means that our body is not getting the energy that it needs to function. Every single cell in our body needs insulin to perform and get energy. Insulin is like the key to the lock on the cell that allows energy in. Insulin doesn't provide energy, insulin delivers it. But what happens in the world today that we have all of this ultra processed food, bag, box, barcoded foods, and even our organic foods have changed. I just did a little video on that last night about how much our foods have changed, and they're just not as healthy for us as they used to be. Even the things that when we're eating organic we think are healthy are not what we think they are. So as a result, we're all sick, and it means that we're suffering with all of these issues, and they're all linked to one problem called insulin resistance. So now, if we take a look at that and understand that we're not deficient in Tylenol, we're not deficient in Ozempic, we're not deficient in any statin drug, we're not deficient in any of these drugs, we've got to start to wonder why we're being given drugs for a problem that they're not curing. At best, they're giving a Band-Aid solution to address some of the symptoms, but they're not fixing the disorder. So what we want to do is understand what's really causing these disorders: hypertension, Alzheimer's, joint deterioration, neuropathy, sleep apnea, PCOS, erectile dysfunction. All of these things are linked to insulin resistance. So if we can understand what that is and how we can make it better, then we can all start to feel better without all the medications and just having more normal life. Now, that means that we've got to slow down how much we're eating. We are eating way too much. We become really gluttonous. And I think all of us know that at the core. We all know that we're eating way too much. But how did we get here? Does anybody understand how we got here other than that we're just eating too much? Well, I'm going to share with you a couple of things. About 60 years or so ago, a gentleman named Ansel Keys, who was trying to work through this problem of why we're having heart attacks, had an idea that were causing heart disease, but there was no scientific data. He was about to go do some research to figure that out, but the whole community took a hold of it, and especially the food community, and said, fats are bad for us. And so if we're going to go down this road, we have to flavor our food with something, or people just aren't going to eat it. Well, the next thing that's a flavor enhancer beyond fats is sugar. So they started manufacturing our foods to be low in fat, but they upped the level of sugar. So now we're getting more glucose in, and we're getting sicker from it all the time because we're just inundated with all this glucose. Good morning, by the way, Alonzo, David, Dale, Gina, thanks for jumping in. Everyone else who's jumped in, I'm so glad to see you here. So now, when we understand that, okay, that's fine. We're eating more sugar. Why are we hungry all the time? Why are we overeating all the time? We're overeating because carbohydrates are not satiating. They give us quick energy, but it doesn't give us sustained energy. So our bodies are understanding this lack of sustained energy, and the carbohydrates burn through us really quickly, and then we're hungry again right away. And so we eat more of that, and that's causing this increased blood sugar, increased insulin, and is the root of the whole problem. So is insulin resistance only caused by high levels of sugar? No, it's not. Insulin resistance is caused by stress, it's caused by inflammation, and it's caused by excessive sugar. Well, in today's world, there's injuries happen, surgeries happen. By the way, if you're having multiple surgeries, you're setting yourself up to start to become more insulin resistant. Now, if you need surgeries, great. But understand that that trauma, that severe trauma that's going on to your body is causing you to be a little bit more insulin resistant through a number of pathways. So, the biggest thing that we can take a hold of besides getting better rest and reducing our sleep, doing meditation, which I do all of the things, is we can start to cut out sugar. It's the one big thing that we can really control. But does it mean you can't have sugar? No, and we're going to talk about that a little bit too. I am on a 36 and 12 fast. That means today I get to eat. So today I get to eat within a 12-hour period. This is what I'm doing. I don't think everyone needs to do this. Most people do fine with the 16/8, but I'm currently doing this. So when I do eat, I'm going to focus on three things: fiber, protein, and fats, because those things are actually helping me with insulin resistance and not making the problem worse. So, fiber, protein, and fats, those are the three things we need to focus on in order to become more insulin sensitive. We need to limit our carbohydrates. And what a lot of people don't understand is that our carbohydrates are not just the bag box barcoded bread, pasta, rice stuff. It's our fruits and vegetables as well. And understanding that our fruits and vegetables have been changed so much that they're higher in glucose than they ever used to be, lower in fiber, and lower in nutrients than they've ever been. Maybe we can start to piece together what's really happening. Okay, so now, one of the ways that we're going to start feeling better, I hear all the time, I want to do organic, I want to do all natural and all this stuff. Well, how many of because I know, like, I live in an amazing condo here north of Baltimore. It's beautiful. The area is beautiful. It's raining outside. I would love to grow a garden, but I don't have the time and space to grow a garden. How many of you guys have? If you can grow your own garden and feed your family from it, put a 1 in the comments. If you can't, put a 2 in the comments. Because so many people get hung up on this all or nothing thing that we're remaining sick. So 2, if you can't grow your own foods. Good morning, Karen. And 1, if you feel like you can raise a garden and do all of that on your own. And even if you raised a garden on your own, all these Puritanists saying, oh, well, just eat more healthy, natural foods, you're going to have to go back and find heirloom seeds that haven't been genetically modified. Now, I was watching a documentary this morning, and I'm pretty hard on genetic modification of our food because it's cost us so many nutrients. But in the beginning, what they were doing was trying to make sure that our crops were more drought resistant. They were more resistant to infestation of pests and whatnot. So they modified our foods to become more resilient so that we could feed people better. But what's happened is this new food is making us hungrier all the time, which is causing us to be sick all the time. So low energy, anxiety, depression, ADHD, autism, a lot of these things can be linked back to insulin resistance. In fact, I read a study a while back, since I'm talking about that real quick, that women and men, you're culpable too. If you're insulin resistant, diabetic, when you conceive a child, you have a higher likelihood of having an autistic child or a child with some type of neurodegenerative disease. So it's really important, especially if you're planning to be a parent, to understand the impact of insulin resistance, not only on your own body, but on that of the children that you're hoping to bear. So this is a wide sweeping problem. Again, 93% of us are suffering from it. And we're all like, okay, what do we do? I can't grow my own garden. I don't understand all this. I can't do all the complicated things. You guys, I did all the complicated things. I had spreadsheets of everything that I was supposed to take, all of these supplements. So when people tell me, just take this piece or just take that piece, I get it. I've been there. I did all the things. I had spreadsheets on my counter and on my fridge so I could remember everything to take at what point in the day. That was not thriving. That was trying to survive, and I wasn't getting better. So I'm going to start talking about the system that I use, that a number of other people are using to feel better, because it is a more natural solution, and yet it's one that makes it sustainable and easy for you to understand and grow through all of this that's happening to us today. So the bottom line is, what we want to understand is that we need to put nutrients back in that have been stripped out, including fiber, Part of the way they've genetically modified these foods is that fiber has been stripped out. Fiber will ferment. And if you don't have the fiber, as fiber is high in the foods, they're going to last longer on the shelf. So higher sugar content, lower fiber means the food lasts longer on the shelf, but it's not doing what it's supposed to in your body. It means that the glucose is getting delivered to you. The sugars are getting delivered way too quickly, and we need to slow that down. So I would love for everyone to think about the fact that every time you eat a carbohydrate, it has to have a high amount of fiber with it. And nature designed it that way. We're the ones who changed that. We as human beings changed that. One of the only sources of carbohydrates that I can think of that doesn't have fiber as a protection is honey, and it has bees as a protection, right? So what we got to understand is that the simplest thing we can do is live in the environment we have today, do the best we can in this environment to give our bodies the health we need. And part of that is going to mean that we have to replace some of the stuff that's been stripped out. So I'm going to start with, well, number one, we have part of the protocol is this, you guys, the protocol that I used that reversed my diabetes and is helping other people with this whole insulin resistance diabetes thing is this. It looks like this. 2 teas that I have during the day and a fiber. The fiber I'm not talking about as much today, but this is crucial to helping with your insulin resistance and helping with your blood sugar levels. This particular fiber can reduce a blood sugar spike by up to 37%. This one reduces it by 10%. I don't know about you, but I would rather be protecting my body 37% than 10%. Okay, I've had a number of people who have done this and said they would never do this, and then they tried this and they were like, I'll never go back because there's such a huge difference. This has vitamins and minerals. It has plant substances in it that are healthy for our heart, give us antioxidants, keep us full, and slow down the delivery of sugar into our system, helping make us more insulin sensitive. But the tea is what I want to talk about today. That's the thing that's up here, right? Yerba Mate Tea. So my lovely daughter did a video the other day on yerba mate and some of the benefits of yerba mate. And one of the responses to her video was, yeah, but it's still processed and I want all natural things. Well, if you understand that the all natural stuff that we go buy on the grocery store shelf is not really the same and that it still is deficient even when you're buying it from the organic section, you got to understand that we need to put back some of the things that have been stripped out. So here we go. Yerba mate, first of all, it has about 13 benefits, and I cannot remember them all, so I'm going to pull up my list right about now. Um, I will remember a number of them, but I will certainly miss one or two of the 13. So look, yerba mate tea, and we're just talking about a regular yerba mate tea. I'm going to talk about our specific type in a second, but I want you to understand why everybody's so in love with yerba mate tea. Now, I also watched and learned a lot about making traditional yerba mate, and it's a process. And it's not very portable, really, and it's not really extremely sustainable for most people's lives. And then the people who've drank the normal yerba mate tea are like, oh, that's nasty. Some people have cultivated a taste for it because they understand the health benefits. What we're going to talk about in a minute is a form of this tea that actually tastes good, that people will want to drink and get the properties from it that we're going to talk about. So, number one, it's rich in antioxidants. It's exceptionally high in polyphenols and flavonoids. They're powerful antioxidants that protect cells from oxidative stress. And these compounds, including chlorogenic acids, have a caffeine-like effect. They neutralize free radicals, potentially reducing the risk of chronic diseases by slowing the aging process. Well, shoot, that one benefit alone is worth it to me. That at 60 years old, that one benefit is like, ooh, that's something I would want to drink. I don't know how you guys feel, but those antioxidants are super important to me, especially as I age. Then it enhances cognitive function. So a lot of people don't understand when I started this journey, I was showing signs of beginning Alzheimer's. We didn't talk about it a lot. My kids were worried, especially my son, because he was the one who was more hands-on with me, and he was terrified that in his early 30s, his mom was developing Alzheimer's, and he was going to have to be a caretaker of not only his mom, but his own family. And that's all changed, and he no longer has that worry. But Alzheimer's was on the table for me. It's off the table now. Part of the reason it's off the table is this form of yerba mate tea. So it enhances cognitive function. The combination of caffeine and theobromine and theophylline in yerba mate stimulate the central nervous system that communicates with our entire body, improving mental focus, memory, and alertness. And these compounds work synergistically to enhance your cognitive function. All of those big words just mean that it's helping get nutrients to our brain so that we can function properly. The central nervous system communicates between our brain and the rest of our body and tells our body how to act even when we're not cognizant of it. If that gets broken down, now we start to have neuropathy, we start to trip more, we start to have other problems. So cognitive function is not just anxiety and depression, it's all of these other functions as well that we're helping with yerba mate tea. It also boosts energy and physical performance. It's been shown to be able to increase physical performance by 10 to 15%. I say this all the time. When I was a world champion athlete, because this is a natural food, it's not going to pop anyone on a drug test. It's this particular form is tested by NASF and the Cologne list so that we know that it's safe for those people in work and in athletics who are getting tested so that it's safe for them. It's not causing any problems because it's just a natural tea that doesn't have any of those banned substances in it. So that physical performance though, when I look at my lifts, and mine aren't they were world records at the time, but I squatted over 400 pounds. If I added another 10% to that, 405 would have become close to 450. If I benched like 275 in competition, that extra 10% would have gotten me well over 300 pounds in my bench. And I deadlifted close to 500 pounds. That means I would have been able to exceed that 500-pound mark when I was lifting by simply adding yerba mate into my day. It actually does help improve your physical performance. Um, for me, in the past, I was able to work out, but I had a hard time breaking a sweat. I had a hard time getting to this level where other people would say they were just exhausted, their body was tired and they were still going. With yerba mate tea now, when I go work out, I can hit those levels where I'm sweating, where I'm feeling like I know that I've expended energy, but my body still has more to go. That's one of the benefits of yerba mate. So, not as an athlete, but just as an everyday person, if you had the energy to get through the day, if you had that increased focus and ability to just run through your normal day, that alone would be a great benefit for most of us. And I use the tea, actually, I'm drinking the tea now, and I will have another one this afternoon. And when I have days where I'm studying or I'm in lectures or I'm in trainings, I drink 4 to 5 of these in a day because it's not damaging my body, it's building my body. It's helping my ADHD brain focus and stay on task in the moment. And I love the tea for those properties, but we've only gone through 3. So it supports weight management in a couple of ways. It helps you become more insulin sensitive, allowing that glucose to get into your cells. It causes a little bit of gut distension, so you're starting to feel a little fuller even between meals. So you're not experiencing those hunger pangs. It's getting energy to the brain. So now the brain isn't sensing that it needs energy. And so now it's not cueing hunger as well. So helping with your blood sugar levels and helping with diabetes, insulin resistance. It's helping with that satiety, both from the brain and the gut. Now you have something that can actually start to move the dial on weight loss. Although I say calories don't count, I mean, they do. They do. I get it. If we're eating way too much, we're eating way too much. I don't believe in highly restrictive calorie counting, is I guess what I say. This helps with all of that. So now you're not as likely to go grab that Snickers bar or that bag of chips or a Bang Energy or a Red Bull that are actually causing you to be, those energy drinks actually spike your cortisol, increase your insulin, and make you more insulin resistant. Just understand that. This tea does not, it does the exact opposite. So it's helping with weight management. It also is eliciting something called GLP-1 in your own body. And GLP-1 is that glucagon-like peptide 1 that is so prevalent with drugs today that are aimed at weight loss. This can increase your natural GLP-1 by 70%, whereas those drugs will increase your natural GLP-1 by 35%, but they give you a high dose of a synthetic GLP-1, which is where the problem is. And that dose of GLP-1 is at 300 to 400 times the amount our body is supposed to be able to withstand. And this is why I, interestingly enough, yesterday just saw a new class action lawsuit against Ozempic for some of the reasons that it's causing problems in people who are being given these high doses for weight loss. So weight loss at what cost with those drugs? With this, we're providing the body with antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, anti-cancer, vitamins and minerals, and still aiding weight loss in a more natural and healthy way. So it improves your cardiovascular health. There are components in this that help your heart function more properly. So some people will be like, but I have low blood pressure. Some people are like, I have high blood pressure. The components in this are helping regulate your heart. So that's part of how I overcame hypertension that was 180 over 150 every single day, hypertension, high blood pressure. And it's now 112 over 70 every morning when I wake up. That's a pretty damn good blood pressure for somebody who was at 180 over 150 for 30 years. No medications touched my hypertension. No doctor was able to figure it out. They were running me through medications, terrified because they knew that at the rate that my heart was beating at, I was headed for a severe heart attack. This tea actually helped me with that, and now I don't have that. I was on 13 medications. I'm off of all 13 because of the benefits of this tea as part of it. So it also enhances your digestive health. Now, as I drink this, this is helping with my gut motility. So it's crazy because it does two things. It gives us that little bit of distension, so that we're feeling a little fuller, and that allows us to not want to eat more. But it's also giving us better gut function. So as we drink the tea, it's like a mild laxative. It's going to make you want to use the restroom, both urinate and go the other side. So you're increasing that reduction of this waste that's sitting in us and allowing us to be sick. So we're removing that from the table by drinking this as well. It's helping balance out the gut microbiome, and it has antibacterial properties that are helping with that. Holy cow, I'm not even halfway through the list, so I don't know how far I'm going to get through this whole list. I'll do a blog post on this and put it up today. I've been migrating my blog to a new place. So you guys, as I get it all done, it's just Brilliant Health blog. You can go check out that information there. I will post it on some of the platforms and maybe put a link up in my stories today when I get the blog done on this tea. Okay, so it's helping with digestive health. It's helping with your weight loss. It strengthens your immune system because there's a high concentration of these mate saponins in the tea. They contribute to the immune boosting properties of the tea, and they have been shown, these mate saponins have been shown to enhance the body's natural defenses against pathogens and reduce inflammation. So it's reducing the negative stuff, or our body's response to negative stuff, and reducing inflammation. It has anti-cancer properties in it. It improves bone density. It's rich in minerals that are essential for bone health. In fact, it's rich in minerals and vitamins that are essential for human health and to sustain life from A to Z. All of those vitamins and minerals that are necessary for life are found in this one tea. That's pretty freaking amazing. So it enhances your liver function. So the antioxidants in yerba mate, particularly the chlorogenic acids, have been shown to protect liver cells. And that it's protecting it from oxidative damage. And so that may help prevent liver disease and support overall function that's crucial for detoxification and metabolism. Understand that our liver does a huge job of filtration, and most of us are walking around with sick livers. The overuse of fructose, not just high fructose corn syrup, but things like fruit juices and the overindulgence in fruits are causing an excess load on our liver. That's a whole talk for another day. But this tea helps the liver clear out and start to become more healthy. It's part of what happened for me in getting my liver health back after I got my gallbladder removed because of insulin resistance. If your gallbladder's sick, your liver is sick. We want to take care of our liver. The gallbladder, it's a small little organ, and most doctors will tell you, oh, you don't need it. But life on the other side of not having a gallbladder is not pretty. Do not take it for granted. You need your liver and your gallbladder. So the tea's helping with the health of even that. It's helping regulate blood sugar levels. Studies have shown that improved insulin sensitivity while drinking yerba mate allows us to get the energy into the cells that so highly need it and get it out of the bloodstream. So we're able to get the energy in because of the components in this tea. It also helps with skin health, you guys. So now when I first lost the 50 pounds that I lost, I had this neck that really said, you can still see a little bit, I'm 60, you can still see a little bit of this. But I actually had people commenting on that loose skin on my neck when I first lost the weight. That skin has tightened up in part because of the tea and the components for my skin health that's just made my skin look healthier at 60 than I ever thought it could, and it all comes back to this tea. But it also is enhancing mood and feelings of well-being. The tea was actually designed as a mental health tool, and we started to learn later how much it was doing for metabolism, and then incorporated it in this insulin resistance protocol. So yerba mate tea can do all of that, right? That's amazing. That's 13 different benefits that yerba mate tea has. But the problem with most yerba mate teas are they're covered in pesticides and other toxins. They're not ethically or sustainably harvested. And that just means that they're using big machines that go through and rake the crops. So you're getting stems and leaves that maybe are dead and dying, full of mold, maybe some that are too green. It's just not as healthy for you as picking the leaves at the right time of ripeness. So think about tomatoes. If you were to go through and just pick every tomato off of a vine, you're going to have some that are green. You're going to have some that are overripe and rotten. And you're going to have some that are perfect. But if you throw them all together, you get this mix where you're getting these green tomatoes that could have some inflammatory responses. You get the overripe tomatoes that could have some inflammatory responses, and then you're getting the tomatoes you want, but at what cost? Same thing with the yerba mate. You're getting, with most teas, you're getting all of that in, and you're not getting what we give you with this tea. I'm going to explain that in a second. So our tea goes through a 5-step process. Since April, 40 pounds down. I'm trying to find Cherise. I've been doing it for 3 years now. So, um, yeah, I've been doing it for 3 years. Now, my health issues were pretty bad when I started, and I'm just really happy for the health that I have now because it reversed I don't have swollen feet anymore. I can go on and off an airplane and not have my feet painful and swollen, falling out of my shoes like little sausages on the ends of my legs. I don't have any of that. The joint deterioration stopped. My eyesight got better. My teeth and gums stopped bleeding. My hair is the longest it's ever been in my life. My skin looks better. My sleep apnea is gone. My ADHD is better managed. Just so many health benefits. If you look at that list and see yourself in more than one thing on that list, you're likely insulin resistant. This system I started about 3 years ago, and it's reversed all of that and got me off of 13 medications. So Cherise is down 40 pounds. I was diabetic with an A1C of 7.4 when I started. Um, it's been about a year and a half ago when I did my last annual, because I don't even have to go to the doc. I haven't been to a doctor in almost 3 years. So it's been 3.5 years that I've been doing this. Almost 3 years I haven't been to a doctor. So, yes, Louis, I represent this product. Absolutely, I do. And why am I selling the product or talking about the product? Because it changed my life and saved my life when I thought nothing else could. When I actually had doctors called me into the office and told me there was nothing they could do. This system helped me. So of course I'm going to share it with people. I'm going to let people know that there's something out there besides Monjaro and Ozempic and metformin that can help you and understand what the real root cause is so that you can actually get better. That's why I'm doing this. Okay. So my A1C is now 5.3. My triglycerides are right around 100. My whole cholesterol panel is within range now. I do talks on cholesterol and stuff too, so we can visit that another day. But yeah, my whole life changed off of 13 medications, and now all I do is this $5 a day. Now, I want to talk about that real quick while we're how is this yerba mate different? Great question, Louis. So, okay, let's finish that and then I'll talk about the other piece I was going to talk about. So, this yerba mate tea is, first of all, it's ethically harvested. So we pay farmers who own their own farms and they're working their own farms, and we pay them a fair price. They negotiate with us. Okay. So this is grown in Argentina, where yerba mate is originates from, and it can be really bitter, right? So ours has a little bit of citric acid in the form of lemon. So it gives it a lemony flavor. And then it has a little bit of stevia to sweeten it up a little bit so that it's more palatable for you, but also through the process that we take it through. So we hand pick it, so we know we're getting the right leaves at the right time. We're not getting all the junk stuff of the stem and whatnot that are not giving us all the things we need. We're doing that. And then we're fire roasting it to release the components of things like chlorogenic acids and theobromine and mate saponins, big words that are just healthy components for you, to get them released from the bulk of the plant. And then we take those components that are natural to the plant and remove them from the bulk that we don't need. Then we concentrate that, and we're also purifying it so that it is removing those pesticides and toxins and PAHs that can be so damaging. So yeah, so this now, the good part of this one is all of those benefits I talked about, all of the really good things. I do want to say there's three things in here, and the quickest way I can say it is chlorogenic acids, mate saponins, theobromine. As a scientist explained to me, they're called adaptogens, and what they do, one of the things they do is they help slow down the effects of caffeine from being negative to you. So you're getting energy, but you're not getting the jitters and you're not getting the crashes and you're not getting all of that. So those three things help with the people who think, oh, I can't do caffeine. Because I never used to do caffeine. I was so terrified of my heart health. My heart health is much better. And I drink the tea at least twice a day, every day. So now, what happens with this, the process that we take it through, and why this over just a natural yerba mate. Those natural yerba mates are great, and I'm glad people are drinking them, but it's kind of a duck shoot, if you will. So you don't know if the batch of yerba mate you're getting is predominantly stuff that's efficacious, or if it was overripe, or if it was underripe, or if you're getting more stems and than the leaves, if you're getting all of that. So every mate, little mug of yerba that you drink when you do this traditional steeping methods can affect you differently because it's not standardized. It's a natural product, right? So you're getting some of those, and you may drink one and feel like, wow, this is a really good cup of tea because maybe it had more of the leaves in it that you want and less of the stems. And then the next cup you get is not as energizing. It's because of this whole process and the standardization of it that we're able to say that every packet of this tea, you're going to have similar effects, similar energy, similar antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer properties from this tea. Now, because of the process, the chlorogenic acids, they are a component that are CGAs that can cross the blood-brain barrier and actually get energy to the brain, actually help with dopamine in the brain and the storage of dopamine in the gut. This has 375 times more of that chlorogenic acid. The chlorogenic acid is also what's creating the increase in GLP-1. That's why this form of yerba mate tea can increase your GLP-1 by 70%. I don't have a number on what a standard yerba mate will increase your GLP-1, so I'll take a look at that today and give you that answer. But this, and besides that, if you don't know how to make a traditional yerba mate, you're putting it in this little mug called a mate, and you're filling it about half full of the yerba, and then you're slowly pouring hot water in it, and you're just getting sips at a time. So it's a long process of that. But and it's okay, but if I think about, like, I'm driving I drove to Toronto earlier this year, was about a 9-hour drive. I wouldn't have a yerba mate with a mug of hot water there to be drinking the whole time to keep me awake on the trip. This, I mix in some water and just shake it up, and I'm good to go. I can keep it in a stainless steel mug like this as I drive. I can stop and get water anywhere, pour this in, and I'm good to go, knowing that I'm getting the higher efficacy of the yerba mate plant that I want. Now, one of the other things is in the processing, in the standardization of this, it makes it more bioavailable than a normal yerba mate tea. So not only does it taste better, not only is it increased in the components, but it's more, those components are now more bioavailable, meaning that your body can use the components of the yerba mate better than any other form of yerba mate that I know of on the market. So it's highly efficient at doing its job, and each packet is about a buck 90, which is less than you're spending on some of the other products, canned or bagged teas that you're getting. People will say, "Oh, it's too expensive." That $5 a day, you guys, is for the pre-meal drink that I have and the two teas that I have during the day. So my drinks for the day are going to be yerba mate tea. I have water in another mug. I love to hydrate. If you guys ever see my desk, there's usually like 4 mugs on here. I will have my fiber. We'll mix that up here in a minute, but I'm talking about the yerba mate. So it's more bioavailable, meaning you're getting more use out of the components in your body through this form of the yerba mate tea. So it still is a natural yerba mate. It's just highly selected, concentrated, purified, so that it's as available to your body as we can make it, so that it's giving you um, a higher dose of all of these beneficial properties that it has, those 13 that I just talked about. So um, there's all of that. It just makes the tea unique to itself. So I want to talk about this part before everybody starts saying, "Oh, the system is too expensive, $5 a day." One of my clients, Jason, who has lost over 190 pounds after doctors told him to do um, gastric bypass and all these other things, he still lost the weight just by doing this system. Um, I lost track of where I'm at. I just lost track. But he's been able to have great results with this as opposed to those medications, and he's done it naturally, and it's helped tremendously for him. I have a woman who's lost over 150 pounds. We have people all across the board. Some people who've lost 40 pounds, like Cherise said earlier. I've had people lose around 50 pounds like me. We've had people with a number of benefits throughout this. So antioxidant, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, weight loss, it's affecting all of our health in a really good way. Again, it contains all the vitamins and minerals that we need to sustain life. So I hope, Louis, if you're still here, I hope that explains. Now, the tea, too, I want to say, comes in lemon and lemon ginger. So they both have a little bit of lemon in them. The lemon ginger has a high hit of ginger extract. It's an extract again, so it's not just a ginger that's ground up in there. It's the extract, so it's really potent. It has a good, strong ginger taste. I like it. Some people don't like the ginger that much. I would start with the lemon and then move to the ginger if you like it. Ginger also is great for your metabolism. So that's the tea I have twice a day. I have it because it's the only thing that really changed the dial on my health, and it can do it for you too. So the pre-meal drink, I'll talk about just a little bit. The pre-meal drink has 7 different soluble and insoluble fibers. This has one type of fiber in it. Again, this reduces the blood sugar spike by up to 37%, this 10%. So yeah, I'm going to reach for this. This has done so many things for me other than just blood sugar control. I tend to have a very acidic gut now with the heart issues from long-term hypertension. I get a lot of nausea. This helps me with that. So off-label use, I use it to help me when I'm having times where I would have maybe taken Tums in the past. I use this instead, soothes it immediately. And I know that when I'm doing this, I'm also feeding my gut microbiome, allowing me to stay healthier. Why all this stuff about the gut? Because Most of our dopamine is housed in our gut and most of our immune cells. About 80% of our immune cells are held in our gut. When that gut is inflamed and sick, we feel sick. We are more anxious and depressed. We have more cognitive function problems. But though that inflamed gut is also allowing you to catch colds and stuff quicker. I was in a household a couple of years ago at the end of the pandemic, and there was 5 of us in the house living in close quarters. 4 of them got COVID and got really sick. I'm the only person in that entire household who did, and we tested, I did not get COVID. How is it that I'm in a house infested with COVID and everybody else is just like hung up in the house because they're so sick they can't go anywhere and I'm still functioning and not even sick? I attribute the system. I had been on the system for almost a year at that point in time, that it built my gut health and my gut strength so much that I'm more impervious to those colds and flus as I age than I would be without it. And let's talk about that too. At 60 years old, and Ben is here, Ben is over 80, those little bugs that used to, knock you out for a day or two when you're younger start to really impact you when you're older. So it's really important for me to have as good immune health as I can, and both products are helping me with that. So that's that. You guys, it's an amazing system, and I really honestly I think that everyone needs it. Um we have 2-year-olds who are drinking it. We have, in my own family, I have a 6-year-old granddaughter who drinks the tea. She's also highly ADHD. So look, I was diabetic when I had my daughter. She's highly autistic. She was diabetic when she had her kids. So a couple of them have ADHD really bad, and one was pre-diabetic herself. They're all utilizing the system for different reasons. Some to manage their ADHD, some to manage their diabetes. But my family, 3 generations of my family, are doing the system because it works so well and really changes people's health. So you can get it in my profile link. Just tap on my profile link right under the red light symbols. You'll see um, a link there that will take you to the landing page for me. You'll be able to order there. You'll be able to get a hold of me there. If you want to talk to me and see, you know, can this help? I cannot promise you that it's going to help. I can tell you it has a 90-day money back guarantee. My recommendation is always do it for 90 days and see what changes in your health. If it doesn't help you, you're going to get your money back. So you just use my link to order. Now, it's important to understand that although I talked about the tea this morning a lot, one of the main components in this why there's 2 of them. This actually helps reduce your blood sugar spike, helps with your gut microbiome. It also has vitamins and minerals in it. So they work together. Okay. The tea does great, but if you're really battling insulin resistance, diabetes, and all of this, you want them both together. When you go to the web page, and I can show you that in a second, you're going to get a choice between lemon or lemon ginger on the tea. On the pre-meal drink, they've changed it now. Now we have a choice between orange, which I still love, and mixed berry. And look, you guys, I get that people want different flavor profiles, but my train of thought is this one I'm going to show you. We just mix it up. I'm going to just tear this open, and I'm going to put it in this amount of water, this much water here. You're going to drink it down really quickly. So unless it tastes like I, back in the day when I was powerlifting, I drank some stuff that tasted like I was licking the bottom of a lawnmower, and I couldn't bear that. This is not like that at all. This tastes really good, but the truth is this one isn't a sip on me kind of drink. This one is I'm pouring it in, the powder into the water, not the water into the powder, by the way. Make sure you do it right. This is room temperature to cold water, not hot, not ice cold. I'm going to shake it up about 4 times like that. And it's mixed. Now it's going to start to thicken up, so I need to drink it down. This is the orange flavor. And that's that. Now, it's already starting to thicken up. It's already coating this bottle. This is what's slowing down the delivery of sugar in your system. If it's coating my bottle this much already, when I go eat, because I'm 40 hours fasting right now, when I go eat, what's going to happen is that same action is going to happen to the carbohydrates and the fats that I do eat, and it's going to slow them down from delivering into my system, keeping my insulin level as low as possible. Just get it in my profile. If you're having problems getting it there, just message me and I'll send you the link directly. TikTok just doesn't like me to put the link in the live stream, so it's really hard to share it that way. But you just go to my link in the profile and you'll get it there. All right. Any other questions before I hop off today? And then I'll come back Friday and we'll talk some more about anything that you guys need me to talk about. I have not talked about diseases and disorders. I love to talk about heart disease because it was one of the big things that really affected me. But let me know what you guys want to hear about, and we'll talk about it on Friday. Good morning, Kim. So, you guys, it really has changed my life. It's completely changed my life. Or if anybody that knows me, like you guys all don't know me, but anybody that knows me knows I wouldn't be doing this today if I didn't 100% believe in it and know that it could help people. So I'm just hoping to change the needle on somebody else's health like this changed mine. And it gave me hope to actually have a productive and active life with my family in these latter years of my life and not be shutting down, because so many of us are walking around sick that 60 feels like 100, and we're just giving up on life because nobody's giving us real answers. This is real answers, real science behind it. It's in, by the way, I didn't talk about this today, but these products are found in something here in the US called the PDR, the Prescriber's Digital Reference. So there's been a lot of science and clinical studies. It's not just our own studies, which every drug does their own studies. This is not a drug, it's a supplement that's helping you gain your health back. But we've had studies through like the University of Sydney and the Cleveland Clinic, the makers of the glycemic index, and one of the top heart hospitals in the world have done studies with this product and found it to be efficacious for us. In fact, one study said that this system has the potential to globally change the reality of diabetes globally, not just in the US, but worldwide, because it's just putting back what the food industries have stripped out of our food so our bodies can do what they're supposed to do naturally. And that's the goal of it. I don't have to worry about like all the people out there pushing. I don't see as many of them anymore. Can I ask a question of you guys? For a while, and maybe it's just my algorithm, for a while it felt like every single creator who was pushing Monjaro or semaglutide or tirzepatide or whatever was ending up in my stream. I don't see many of them anymore. Is it just my algorithm, or is it finally starting to slow down with the people pushing those? It cracks me up sometimes because people will see my content and then the companies will be like, hey, we represent a company that does some a tide and they want me to talk about it. And I'm like, sure, I'll talk about it. I'll tell people don't ever do those drugs because they're damaging you. I don't believe in them. I don't like them. I don't think that there's been enough studies around them, and I think they're damaging people. And the truth of that can be shown in the lawsuits that are showing up now with those medications. So a more natural solution that gives your body what it needs and allows you to heal and have a real life. That's the route I want to go down. That's the path I want to give people. So we will talk to you guys on the next one. Have a good week. If you have questions, message me. That link is not just to sell stuff. There's a website there and the way to get a hold of me too. So if you need to have a conversation with me, just text me and I'm more than happy to answer. We'll see you guys Friday. Have a good day.